Hi friends, today after we have some practice with JavaScript, with CSS, we are going to move further to create some small but completed project, completed thing, small game, really 15 puzzle, very famous thing for about more than 100 years. It's in real life, it's a wooden box of square form with square tiles which could be moved to the empty space. It contains only one empty space, and usually it's 4 by 4, and so it has 15 tiles, hence the name. The goal is to rearrange all the numbers in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. Now we are going to create interactive version of this thing. Because this would be a live coding session, it will take a bit more time than usual lesson, and so we split it into several videos. In the first video we shall try to create the game field to get acquainted with the library which we are going to use, jQuery. In the second we are going to create tiles, and in the third we are going to make them clickable, movable, and so on. Now let us start. I have prepared some small template in the file index.html. Here is for now just title for the page and just header in h1 element. Yeah, it looks I have it loaded just directly as file, specifying the file name of full path in my computer, and it doesn't look very interesting yet. So we start. We shall add the jQuery library first. As I said, it would be looking like this. You remember to include JavaScript, we use TextScript. But as this library will come as external file, we just create here a reference. We can reference it either where it is in internet, or we can download it to our computer, to the same folder, and I shall do this way. jQuery JS. Now we need to get this file. Here in the side pane you see the list of files in the current directory, and here we need this jQuery JS. Let's go. We just Google for it, come to its main site, click download, and anything will do. For example, let's take a compressed production version of jQuery. We are not going to look inside, so production and compression isn't a problem for us. We open it, it's you see really compressed JavaScript code, so we just right click on it and click save as. I save it to the same folder. Let it be just jQuery. Okay, now I switch to my editor, and you see the file is here. Now let us try to use it. For beginning, let us start with the built-in script. I put this script after the text, after the jQuery is loaded, below everything. jQuery works with it greatly helps with using, operating, replacing, modifying, etc. HTML elements, and it uses the magic symbol of, for example, it's $sign, and it's really equal to the function with such a short name, and to this function we pass something like a CSS selector. For example, if we want to select all h1 elements, we simply type h1 here. So this function will return to us all elements which has h1 as their tag. You remember that in real JavaScript, in clear JavaScript, it was something like this: document get elements by tag name, something like this. And we now have much simpler thing and much more powerful. We shall see it later. Now let us, for example, on this object, we can assign it to variable, for example, like this, and we can do some magic. For example, we can call the function CSS, which allows to assign some CSS attributes. For example, color should become red. Yeah, let us see. I close this, I reload my game, and the header is red. That's great. But we do not need this. We really want to create now game field and make it of certain size, etc. Let's see how it could be done. I will move this script to the separate file. Let us do this like this. Source is puzzle.js. We create a file with the same name here in the same directory. Let's see. First of all, I'm going to add the field below this header. So to create new element with jQuery, I use just again the magic function and type whatever I want to create. Div here will be field, game field. Okay, and the closing element is just the part of HTML. As you see, I can assign it to some variable. Now I need this element to be appended to my document just after the h1 header. How can I do this? I take this header, I take its parent element, which is probably body, and I type append function here and put field as argument. Let us see this should work. You see a field is here, but it has no form, no color, no shape, no size, nothing yet. Let's continue with it. We can do this in multiple ways. For example, I can use the same method of assigning CSS parameters. Field CSS, let us have border 1 pixel solid black, right? Let us see. Very impressive, yet we need some more. We need size and we need color. Let us first of all, let us do this. We put a size for our field into some variable, so that further, if we want to change it, we just change a single number and it's changed everywhere. We won't hard code the value in many places. For example, let be width of the field, and let it be 350 pixels. Let our has a separate variable for height, but let us for beginning have it equal. That's great. And let us just assign this width and height to the field. They are functions on the jQuery object, so it's just like this. We call function width and we pass whatever we want the variable width. We in the same manner set height. Let us see. It's square now, and we can assign some color, right? Really, these CSS calls, they could be chained one to another, but for more clarity I have it that way. It is background property. Background, say CCF in hexadecimal color form. Great, but let us not overburden our code with styles, because we really can assign styles in the CSS, right? We only need to append some class to our field, and let us do this. Let us do like this. Field add class my field. Very simple. And then we can fetch some properties to the dedicated style sheet inside style tags, for example. Here it is. For class my field, we want border to be this, and we want also background to be this. Let us see. We need the close and brace. Okay, let us see. It still looks like working. Let us add some style for body tag itself. Let us has everything centered. Okay, we just need this square field also to be aligned. It's made differently. There is a CSS attribute called margin. The spaces on the right, on the top, left, etc. And to align something by the width, we need to center. We need to make automatic margin on right and left. That is done like this. I just add another CSS property to my field. Margin 0 pixels above and below, and automatic margin on right and left. It has one of such forms with 2 parameters. Great, this works. Now we need tiles in this field, yes. So let us start adding them, but before we continue, let us put the code for the field. Let us put it in some function, because we shall have more lines here, and we do not want this all be written in a single sheet. Let's call the function, for example, make field. All right, and we copy everything relating to the field, and we do not need this temporary variable h1, so we just will call it exactly where we use it, like this, right? And we need to call this function after we defined it. That should be working still. Okay, now we are going to create the function make tiles. We shall create only single tile for now, and all remaining tiles would be created in the second video, because there would be more work. Let us define such function. What is the tile? Tile is also some fragment inside the field. We need to access the field itself. It's in the variable field. Not necessary, but let it be so. Now we create in the same way the element for the tile. We shall later wrap this in the for loop, but let now have only single tile. Div, the first tile will have number 1, right? Like this, and we need to append it to the field. Everything seems simple. Here it is, but it don't look like tile yet, right? Let us remove the text in the field. It's not necessary anymore. And we want to make this tile of the certain size. What size it is? Let us create a variable which describes how many tiles in a row and in a column we have. Let us call it size. For example, it is 4. Now the tile should be the width of the field divided by the number of tiles, right? So let us create some temporary variable like tile width. It is width divided by size, right? And the same for the height of the title. Okay, let us make the tile width is tile W and height is tile H. You see, I chained the two calls, and this still should work. I just put it after. So it looks like it works, but I do not see the title itself. Let us append the class tile to it, right? And let us paint it in some color. Tile could be, for example, like this. We add the class and we use it in our CSS. Let it be with background like FFC. Here we had CCF, and here it's like yellow. You see, it's pretty square, but the number is yet not very beautiful. Let us make it larger, and this is what we can do with a simple CSS, because we of course can write, for example, here the font size is 300%. It will enlarge the letter, but we do not know when we write this, we do not know what size is the field and what size are the tiles. So we are not going to do this here. Rather, we do this in the JavaScript code. Let us write this something like this. Tile CSS font size is, let us take the height of the tile, for example, but divided like 2/3 of it. Tile H multiplied by 2 divided by 3. Let us take math floor to make it integer. It's not necessarily, but some browsers work better with it. And we need to add the dimension. It's pixels. Let us see. It works. Only we want this also to be centered by the vertical. We for this need the property vertical align, but with the value middle. But if we try, we see it don't work at once. It's because we need to have the line height equal to the size of the title. It's it's aligned in this line. So we again do not know what size is the line height, but we can do this in the JavaScript. Tile CSS line height, it's just tile height plus the dimension of pixels. Okay, it's now pretty centered. Let us only make it slightly more beautiful. For example, let us make it font weight bold, and also let us have the color, for example, something like brown. It should work as text, but I do not like these colors, so let it be like something like this. Okay, so far so good. I think we shall finish our first part now, and let's meet in the second and following to make many tiles and to make them clickable, movable, etc. See you, goodbye, thanks for watching so far.